Here's what no one wants to admit. We don't judge people based on what happened to them. We judge them on how well they perform their pain. Look, I sat in that courtroom. I watched the jury. I listened to the victims. And I paid close attention to what wasn't said, to what people flinched at, to what their body language showed, and what the silence revealed. And when I wasn't in the courtroom, I stayed close, keeping my ear to the ground, tracking every development. And when I walked away from this trial, there was one truth that I can't stop thinking about. And this is what it is. We, as a society, still don't understand consent. And worse, we still put the burden of proof on the person who was hurt. You want proof? I'm going to show you some proof. Watch what happened outside of the courtroom just hours ago.
He beat her! It doesn't matter. He beat her! He beat her! He kicked her! And he spit on her! He kicked her! You can't handle the truth! You can't handle the truth! You can't handle the truth! This guy doesn't know what he's talking about! Is it a possibility that Cassie Ventura went through things like this horrific, horrible things that this man, you saw me, we can agree the videos were horrible, right? Is it possible that she did things that she wouldn't know what to do because she was so in love with this man? The answer is yes or no. Because I gotta tell you, man, I've done things for women that because I was so in love with them, all I wanted to do, hold on, all I wanted to do is put a smile on their face, yes. Yes.
Yes. You understand what I'm trying to say? At the end of the day, we all have cell phones. 911. 911.
So you saw that video, right? Right there, that's the conflict. One man sees the abuse and asks, hey, maybe she stayed. Couldn't she have stayed because she loved him? Couldn't she have done things she wanted to do because she loved him? The other guy says, you know what? She had a phone and she could have called 911. And this is where we are. We measure harm by how loud a woman screamed. We decide the truth based on whether she ran fast enough. We think survival means that it wasn't that bad. But let me tell you this, love doesn't erase trauma and what happened, and silence doesn't mean consent. And telling someone to just call 911 ignores the fear, the power imbalance, and the emotional conditioning that keeps people stuck. Look, that clip wasn't just a debate, it was a symptom, and we still don't get it. But let me be very clear. Compliance is not consent. Numbness is not consent. Survival is not consent. This trial reminded me of something very uncomfortable, but still very familiar. Consent is still treated like a script because if you don't say the exact right lines or do the exact right things, you're not to be believed. We expect victims to prove that they didn't want it through screaming, crying, fighting, running away. But I can tell you this, as a body language expert with a master's degree in psychology, some victims don't fight. They freeze. Some victims don't yell. They dissociate. Some don't leave. They survive. And when survivors do survive in complicated ways, we punish them for it. Let's address something head on because it always, and I mean always, comes up. What about false accusations? Well, here's the truth. They're rare. Yes, they do happen, and yet they're still very rare. A comprehensive review by the National Sexual Violence Resource Center found that only 2% to 10% of sexual assault reports are false. You know what that means? It means that at least 9 out of 10 people who come forward are telling the truth. But yet, we don't treat them that way, do we? We act like false reports are everywhere. We ask, what if she's lying? Why didn't she say no louder? Why didn't she fight? Why did she stay? What was she wearing? What did she say? Why did she go back? Why didn't she leave? We bombard them with questions. We interrogate survivors more than we examine the actions of the accused. It's as if a victim has to pass some type of moral purity test just to be believed. And if their story doesn't come wrapped in panic, in pain, and a perfect way of handling it based on someone else's criteria, then what do? We doubt them. But let me be clear, this isn't just about numbers. It's about the narratives that we hold on to that protects power and punish pain. And until we stop treating survivors like suspects, we're going to keep getting justice wrong. Saying yes because you're scared, exhausted, or worn down is not agreement. It's called surrender. And yet in this trial, as well as many other trials, that seems to have gotten lost. When someone is powerful and successful and charming, even beloved, we don't want to believe that they could do it, that they could cause harm. So instead of questioning them, we question the person they hurt. That's not justice, that's protection disguised as doubt. And in high-profile cases like this one, that protection shows up as what? As disbelief, as discrediting, as dismissal, and all of this piled right on top of trauma. And this might be the most important point I'll make. Consent isn't just a moment, it's a mindset. And the responsibility shouldn't fall on the one that's being touched. It belongs to the person doing the touching. You gotta stop, check yourself, check in, pay attention, you gotta care. If you're not sure whether the other person feels safe, they feel respected and free to say no, then guess what? You don't have consent. If there's any ambiguity at all, then guess what? You don't have consent. So let's stop asking, why didn't she resist harder? And start asking, why didn't he make sure she was okay? The Diddy trial reminded me of something I already knew and I can't ignore. Consent is still misunderstood. Power is protected. Victims are still doubted. And silence is still louder than the truth for too many jurors. And I don't say this lightly, but I do say it with certainty. Until we shift the societal weight from victims to those who hold power, we will keep confusing survival with consent and injustice with fairness. And if this landed with you, just don't scroll past it. Share it, talk about it. Tell me how you feel in the comments. And be kind. Be the kind of person who just doesn't flinch when the truth is uncomfortable, because silence protects power. But you know what protects people? The truth. I'm Blanca Cobb. I'm an internationally recognized body language expert with a master's degree in psychology. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe. Again, share this video. Have a discussion. This discussion is way overdue about consent and what it really means. And I will see you in the next video.